Once again, welcome each and everybody to the national seminar sponsored by ICPR New Delhi and organized by PG Department of Philosophy, VIKRAM DEV Autonomous College, Jaipur. At the outset, I would like to welcome our today's chief speaker, Professor Ganesh Prasad Das and Dr. Madan Mohan Padhi, MD, PhD, Ayurveda. So it's my honor to introduce Professor Ganesh Prasad Das to this August gathering. I must welcome all the members present here physically and also those who are connected in online mode. I welcome each and everybody to this seminar. So let me introduce Professor Ganesh Prasad Das. Ganesh Prasad Das was born in 1945 and graduated with distinction in the year 1968, and he stood first class first with university gold medalist in the PG examination of okay sir. So actually
ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପିଲାମାନେ ଯେତିକି ନମ୍ବର ରଖି ପାସ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବିଲକୁଲ କମ୍ପିଟ୍ କରି ପାରିବିନି ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଦେଲେ ରିପିଟ୍ ଫେଲ୍ ହେଇଯିବି
okay sir okay then actually we are very lucky to have you sir in this our seminar today. And today Professor Das will be speaking on reflection of yoga and Visada and Ananda. So on behalf of PG Department of Philosophy, I once again welcome you and eagerly listen you, sir. And as you said, you need not any introduction. You also a man who is, how can you introduce a man who is known to everybody? So it is, you do not need any introductions. So may I now invite you to Professor Ganesh Prasad Das for your kind deliberation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good afternoon and greetings to one and all present in the conference hall there, as well as in the cloud chamber on the occasion of the observance of International Yoga Day in the 75th year, the Diamond Jubilee year of VIKRAM DEV Autonomous College, Jaipur, and the 75th year, the Amrit Mahotsav year of Mother India. I thank the principal, Dr. Gopal Haldar, and the HOD Philosophy, Lieutenant Dr. Lakshman Patra, for the invitation to participate in the seminar. It is my limitations that I could not make it to Jaipur to be physically present there. I thank and welcome Dr. M.M. Padhi, Dr. Amulya Ranjan Mahapatra, and Dr. Subhasri Sampada Mishra, the speakers of the previous session, if they are there. Now, as already announced, the presentation is entitled Reflections on Yoga, Visada and Ananda. I could have said from Visada to Ananda, but let it remain as such. Now, June 21st is earmarked as the International Yoga Day since 2015 as a result of the initiative taken by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, delivering an impactful speech related to yoga on September 27, 2014 at the UN General Assembly. This very day is also celebrated, that is 21st June is also celebrated as World Music Day. It is interesting to find that every day is celebrated as some national or international day, sometimes more than one, as on 21st June. 26th July, that is yesterday, is the Kargil Vijay Divas in India and Uncle and Aunt Day in US and Canada. Most of them are for festivity, business and fun.
Sir, sorry to disturb you. Sir, टिके आपनकर से पोजीशन रे कहबे टिके आपन टिके साइड हे जुची कैमरा रो एबे एक्जेक्टली परफेक्ट सर एबे
सुन सबल चिंता होबनी कैमरा टा बरम ऑफ कर देबी मो अगर लैपटॉप रे छाइते तनको डिस्टर्ब होबो पड़ियो
ओह नै नै एबे बहुत भलो देखा उसे
माने
एबे ठीक अछि
जद फोटो फोटो उठाया था भलो पोजीशन उठे देबो केते बेले किंतु कैमरा टा मो ऑफ कर देबी
हाउस ठीक अछि सर कैरी ऑन
मते डिस्टर्ब
नै ठीक अछि कहन सर चल
अच्छा किछि वर्ष पूर्वे हमर संतोष को कहिथिली गोटे खाता देइथिल ताकू मो कहल प्रतिदिन जो डे सब हो गोटे हिसाब रखिलु से किछि बार बंद हिसाब करी मत देइथिला किंतु वर्तमान से दिन संख्या आहुरी बढ़ी गलानी गोटे दिन रे 2 टा कि 3 टा ओकेजन पाइत हो most of them are for festivity business and for fun today the 27th July is celebrated as सुनो केम देइची national love is kind day love is kind से डेटा पालन हो जाए this is a day to celebrate those who have escaped domestic violence or domestic abuse today is also celebrated as National Scotch Day, Mother, National Chicken Finger Day, and the day of establishment of CRPF. Coming to the International Yoga Day, it is not for celebration and fun. It is to remind one, especially the ones not in its practice, about the benefits of yoga and rejuvenate the attitude of those who are in its practice. Yoga and music are both for practices and for that matter for daily practices. Yoga एवं music एटा प्रतिदिनर practice दरकार करे not for occasional luxury आज करदवा पुन 8 दिन पर करियो जते बेळ हबो करियो सेम शेक्सपियर कहिथिले किंग लियर नाटक रे म्यूजिक इज द फूड ऑफ लाइफ अच्छा if music is the food of life then yoga is the nutrient of life body mind intellect and soul all together the difference between the two is that music is performed by some enjoyed by others but this is not so for yoga one who does the yogic practice gets the benefits of it let me quote a few lines from the website of the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, where Dr. Ishwara V. Baswaradi writes. What does he say? Yoga is essentially a spiritual discipline based on an extremely subtle science which focuses on bringing harmony between mind and body. It is an art and science of healthy living. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj, meaning to join or to yoke or to unite. As per yogic scriptures, the practice of yoga leads to the union of individual consciousness with that of the universal consciousness. So, indicating a perfect harmony between the mind and body, man and nature. According to modern scientists, everything in the universe is just a manifestation of the same quantum firmament. साइंस स्टूडेंट गोटे प्रश्न पचारि जदि थे ताले यही कथा टिके अटेंड करନ୍ତୁ भल कि अन्य कथा थिले हम पर कथा हवा एवरीथिंग इन द यूनिवर्स इज जस्ट ए मैनिफेस्टेशन of the same quantum firmament. Firmament is sky. The same quantum firmament. That means the same quantum field. One who experiences this oneness of existence is said to be in yoga and is termed as a yogi, having attained to a state of freedom referred to as mukti, nirvana, or moksha. Yoga, being widely considered as an immortal cultural outcome of Indus Saraswati Valley civilization dating back to 2700 BC, has proved itself catering to both material and spiritual upliftment of humanity. Basic human values are the very identity of yoga sadhana. आरो अनेक कथा कहै छै वेबसाइट रे एतक बहुत important lines for the knowledge of all. Now, every discipline, science or art, has shastras, texts that organizes it into a systematic, orderly, and intersubjectively communicable form. There are yoga shastras, very ancient and very authoritative. The Bhagavad Gita, as a yoga shastra, is composed at some time between 400 BCE and 200 BCE. Hemachandra wrote in the 12th century a treatise entitled Yoga Shastra on Shvetambara Jainism. This one is unlike the conventional and much more older yoga text like the above mentioned one, but shows its influence. Hemachandra means by yoga Ratnatraya, 3 gems, that is right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. In truth, the aims and achievements of yoga consists in these 3. हेमचंद्र योग शास्त्र को मु रेफर कर कारण हूँ से 3टा कथा स्पष्ट कराई योग कहले राइट बिलीफ, राइट नॉलेज और राइट कंडक्ट. ये 3टा कथा आमर दरकार एवं 3टा कथा मु कहवाक चाहूँगी जे श्रीमद् भगवत गीता रे अति प्रांजल स्पष्ट भाव में 18 अध्याय 700 श्लोक वर्णित है. These aims and achievements are presented extremely perspicuously in the Bhagavad Gita, which is incorporated in the Mahabharata of Vyasa. The Gita seeks to blend harmoniously Jnana, Karma, Bhakti, and Niti, which more or less correspond respectively to metaphysics, science, religion, and morality. So much so that its teaching encompasses the entire resources of human thought and emerges as philosophy perennial, as Aldous Huxley would term it. Philosophy perennial हेथिबारु भारत ये जो विद्या विश्व को देई ताकू सुशिक्षित करिया पे चाहूछि एवं केवल भारत चाहूछि ता नुहे पाश्चात्य यह अति आदर ग्रहण करी एथिरे अनुप्राणित हेई लागिछि एवं बड़ दुखर कथा आमे आम अवस्था ताकू देई देइकरी तांको अवस्था आमे धीरे धीरे ग्रहण करी हीनरु हीनतर हेगी गला बेला मन. The West tends to separate science, religion, and morality on the theoretical front. आमर जो सिलेबस मान करूछु यूजी पई पीजी पई देखि तो सेठी किपरि भाव रे हमें कंपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन करूछु डिसिप्लिन गुडी को सेटा वेस्ट रो अनुकरण से गुडा होउची. साइंस अलगा, रिलीजन अलगा, मोरालिटी अलगा, इसे पनि मेटाफिजिक्स अलगा, एपिस्टेमोलॉजी अलगा, एथिक्स अलगा. किंतु भारतीय विद्या रे एवं वर्तमान आलोचना करिया जाउची जो श्रीमद् भगवद गीता रे ଏପରି ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମିଳିବନି। କେବଳ ଗୋଟେ ଆନାଲିଟିକ୍ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ସେ ତାକୁ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା କରିକି ଥୋଇକିରି ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବ ସିନା, ସେଭଳି ଭାବରେ ସେଠି ସେପରି ଆଲୋଚିତ ହୋଇନାହିଁ। On the other hand, on the theoretical front, on the one hand, and practice on the other hand, and then seeks to strike a harmonious combination of the former three first and that with practice next. ସେଠି ଆମର ୱେଷ୍ଟରୁ ଗୋଟେ ବାହାରିଲା ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍ ଏଥିକ୍ସ, ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍ ଫିଲୋସଫି। ଫିଲୋସଫି ମାନେ ତ ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍, ଏଥିକ୍ସ ମାନେ ତ ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍, ପୁଣି ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଗୋଟେ କଣ, ଆପ୍ଲାଏଡ୍ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଏଥିକ୍ସ ଗୋଟେ କଣ? କିନ୍ତୁ ୱେଷ୍ଟରେ ଏଭଳି ଭାବରେ କମ୍ପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟାଲାଇଜ କରାଯାଇଛି। They turn out to be unsuccessful on both the fronts. In India, however, there is no such watertight division among science, religion, and morality, and no such hiatus between theory and practice. They are all interwoven. परस्पर सहित गुंथा गुंथी होइछन्ति. Some regard the Gita as preaching a blending samuchaya of jnana and karma, or jnana, karma and bhakti. This is to put things in too simplistic a way. In order to attain the highest end of life, which is termed as moksha, some say jnana is the only way, some others say that it is karma, and still some others say that it is bhakti only. The meanings of these potent terms have to be gleaned from the orthodoxy, from the appropriate form of life. They are regarded by the tradition as exclusive, not inclusive way for attainment of the highest. ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଯାହା ଦେଖିବା ସେଟା ହେଉଛି inclusive way, exclusive way ନୁହେଁ. To make them inclusive, the Gita transmutes the meanings of these terms and some others too, and brings out the synthesis of knowledge, action, and devotion imbued with value. Swami Ranganathananda rightly points out, I quote a few lines from him, in every chapter of the Gita, we come across the terms and concepts which were familiar in the pre-Gita age. Sri Krishna takes them up but gives them his own meaning and interpretation and presents a constructive philosophy which reconciles the claims of action and thought. This we find especially in his interpretation of action and inaction in the 18th chapter. Karma, akarma, bikarma जोटी आलोचना है. এটা बहुत ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা. গীতাରେ ଯୋଉ ଟର୍ମଟି ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛେ, ଯୋଉ ଟର୍ମ ସବୁ ପାଉଛେ, ସେଗୁଡ଼ିକର ଅର୍ଡିନାରୀ ଡୋମେନରେ ଯାହା ମିନିଂ ସେପରି ଯଦି ଧରି ନିଆଯିବ, ତାହେଲେ ଗୀତାର ଭାଷା, ଗୀତାର ସନ୍ଦେଶ ଆମେ ଠିକ ଭାବରେ ଧରିପାରିବାନି. ସେ ଭାଷାକୁ ସବୁ ନେଇ କମନ ସେନ୍ସ ଲେଭେଲରୁ, ପ୍ରଚଳିତ ସ୍ତରରୁ ତାକୁ ଧୋଇ ପଖାଳି ସେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିଛନ୍ତି. Yoga is such a concept. It is the central concept in the Bhagavad Gita, which is termed as Yoga Shastra in all its colophons. ସବୁ ଅଧ୍ୟାୟର ଭଣିତାରେ କୁହାଯାଇଛି, ଇତି ଶ୍ରୀମଦ୍ ଭଗବତ ଗୀତାସୁ ଉପନିଷତ୍ସୁ ଯୋଗ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରେ, ଏମିତି କୁହାଯାଇଛି. It is extremely important to note that it gives three elucidations of yoga that are interimplicative. Two of these are given in chapter 2 in quick succession. Yoga is first said to be samatvam, that is equipoise. Samatvam yoga uchyate, inquiries. No tension, only attention, so to say. ମୁଁ ସବୁବେଳେ କହେ ଟେନସନ ଅଛି, only attention, no tension. Be in equipoise, samatvam. It is then said to be yoga karmasu kaushalam, that is skillfulness in actions, that is called arete, A-R-E-T-E, arete in Greek language. The third one is given in chapter 6 as dukkha sanjoga vijogam, that is hacking the connection with pain. This is of deep Advaita philosophical significance, because hacking the connection of pain necessarily leads to trying the connection with pleasure. ଯଦି ପେନ୍ ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ କାଟିଦବ ତାହେଲେ ପ୍ଲେଜର ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ ଆସିଯିବ। ଯଦି ଏଠି ବିଷାଦ ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ କଟିଯିବ ତାହେଲେ ଆନନ୍ଦ ସହିତ କନେକ୍ସନ ଆସିଯିବ। This is a deep Advaita philosophic significance. So, because hacking the connection of pain necessarily leads to tying the connection with pleasure. Nay, bliss, ananda, which is the original and untainted nature of the human person. He is born out of ananda, brought up in ananda, and ends up in ananda. Ananda ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଇଛି ତୈତ୍ତିରୀୟ ଉପନିଷଦରେ। Samatvam is the overarching idea that signifies equipoise of one's body, mind, and intellect. The idea samatvam is functional. Samatvam ଟା ଦେଖିବା କେମିତି? ଦେଖିବା କଥା ପଡିଥିଲା ଫାଷ୍ଟ ସେସନରେ। samatvam ଟା ଦେଖିବା କେମିତି? ତା ଫଙ୍କସନ ତାକୁ ଦେଖିବା। The idea samatvam is functional. Whether or not a person has samatva, that is, he is a sthita prajna, is known by his speech and action. कौन कहूची कौन करूची ସେଇଥିରୁ ସେ ସ୍ଥିତ ପ୍ରଜ୍ଞ କି ନା ତା ମନର ସାମ୍ୟାବସ୍ଥା ଅଛି କି ନା ଜଣା ପଡିବ। There is therefore a query as what स्थित प्रज्ञ says and does. स्थित प्रज्ञ से क्या भाषा एमती पचराइଛି। At the level of thought and speech, the man of equipoise, स्थित प्रज्ञ or Muni, as he is alternatively regarded as, he transcends all dualities. ସବୁ ଦ୍ୱୈତ ଭାବର ଊର୍ଦ୍ଧ୍ୱରେ ସେ ଥିବ। ଦ୍ୱୈତ ଭାବ ଗୁଡା କଣ? ସୁଖ ଦୁଃଖ, will and woe, ଜୟ ଅଜୟ, victory and defeat, ଧର୍ମ ଅଧର୍ମ, virtue and vice, ଲାଭ ଅଲାଭ, gain and loss, ମିତ୍ର ଶତ୍ରୁ, friend and foe, ଶୀତ ଉଷ୍ଣ, cold and hot, siddhi asiddhi, success and failure, to name a prominent few outcomes only. Attainment of equipoise presupposed acting efficiently, that is, with immaculate perfection, and this implies attainment of bliss. Thus, the three elucidations, not exactly definitions of yoga, are interconnected. जो तीनटा कथा कहली गोटे हला गोटे हला कौन समत्वम योग मुच्यते, आ गोटे हला योग कर्म सुकौशलम, आ गोटे हला दुख संयोग वियोगम। ये तीनटा याक परस्पर सहित इंटरकनेक्ट। किंतु याकू मु डेफिनेशन बोली कहूनी एइथपई जे से डेफिनेशन रो गोटे पुनी डेफिनेशन अछि, से अनुसार डेफिनेशन हबो नै केवल तार से आइडियाटा इलुस्ट्रेट कराउछि, बुझेई दिया होछि। It might be noted in passing that there are two other received senses of yoga. आउ दीटा भी योगर अर्थ अछि जोटा साधारण व्यवहार करा जाय। One is received from the ordinary parlance, in which it means addition, as in the nursery rhyme, add 0 to 2, what do you get? You get only 2. The Gita's sense of yoga might be seen to be a construction out of this to mean as joining of the finite with the infinite. ये जो add कथा कहले, add 0 to 2, 2 रे 0 मिसेले केते हबो? 2 ही हबो। सेई जो add sense ता किछकन पूर्व तो कहउतली ऑर्डिनरी पार्लांस रु टर्म नै करी ताको धोई पखाली की गीता व्यवहार करछंती। सेई भाव देखिले जे फाइनाइट सहित इनफाइनाइट मिश्रण मध्य ए जोगर अंतर्भुक्त। Wittgenstein coins a term concatenation, 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 to say that the presence of objects in a state of affairs is not just combination but something more than this. सेटा होची concatenation। सेई भଳି भाबरे ये जो फाइनाइट इनफाइनाइट मिश्रणटा जस्ट एडिशन नुहे ताठू आउ किछि अधिका yoga in the sense of joining of the finite with the infinite is not just concatenation but more than this. Sri Krishna symbolizing the infinite exhorts Arjuna symbolizing the finite to have the infinite as the highest goal to become. Mameva esyasi yukta eva atmanam mat parayana. The other is received from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, where we find the elucidation of the concept as Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That is, yoga is the repression of all desires. The Sabda Lokya Kariya Katha, repression of all desires. The Gita discards this view. All beings follow their nature and desires are natural occurrences. They cannot be forcibly limited or guillotined. They need to be slowly and steadily disciplined and sublimated. गोटे जल उच्च गड़िया बाहर गोटे पथर चापिले रही से पुणी आग गड़िया फुटी बाहरी पड़ो ना जल उच्छर शक्ति बेसी थी पथर टाक टेक फोपाड़ दब तेणुक सी जो उच्छ्वास अभ्यास उच्छ्वास से भाव में डिसिप्लिन करा पड़े जलर उच्छ्वास को किपरि कमी हम से व्यवस्था करा पड़ो. To be sure, the word yoga is used to signify so many things. As P.T. Raju puts it, quoting 2 lines from him, the word yoga can mean and has been made to mean any kind of achievement. The object achieved, the process or method of achieving it, the teaching of the achievement, and also the subsidiaries to that achievement. ये सब जाक योग नाम ख्यात. रथ जगन्नाथ पथ जगन्नाथ प्रसाद जगन्नाथ सब जगन्नाथ सेमतिया आम जगन्नाथ संस्कृति सेमतिया पथ प्राप्ति सब हूँ योग. Hence, every chapter of the Gita is called a yoga. Even the first chapter that delineates the despondency of Arjuna is a yoga. Arjuna Vishada yoga. I want to point out that the Gita does not just contain 18 yogas in its 18 chapters. It contains 19 yogas in 18 chapters. As the second chapter, that is entitled as Sankhya Yoga, contains another yoga called Buddhi Yoga. सांख्य योग जहाँ कहली बुद्धि योग पुणी शुणु एक श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन को कहते. बुद्धि योग स्प्रेड फ्रॉम वर्सेस 39 थ्रू 72 39 श्लोक आरंभ कर 72 श्लोक पर्यंत बुद्धि योग कथा कहुई. One can very well see that buddhi or intellect is regarded as the ultimate instrument for realization of the ultimate. It is the gateway of transcendence. Universalism and rationality are the 2 important features of Gita's message according to Swami Raghunaathananda. There is, however, a distinction between rationalization and reason. Most of the human beings are inclined to make rationalizations, not see reason. जहाँ गोटे पार्टी बाहर पड़ो ताकू से जस्टिफाई करने चाहिए ताकू आगे कहीदे पर रिजन खोजे. मोर ऑफन देन नॉट वी जस्ट फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड जो गोटे अच्छी ओडिया सतर्क रहा कौन जहाँ कहल ता सहित तर्कटी लागिक तर्कटा कौटी न थी गोटे कहीदेच तापर तर्क जोगाड़ कर राशनालाइजेशन. अनेक लोग ता करती. More often than not, we just fail to understand and appreciate what is just. We are goaded by superficial perceptions and unanalyzed conceptions. Arjuna happened to be one such individual rationalizing his despondency. जो कहला मैं युद्ध करिबि नहीं. Rationalizing his despondency by putting forward a dogmatic view as the philosophy of life. he was confused on origin of a dynamic life, not a philosophy of life. It needed to be replaced by the calm reason of philosophy that would enable the individual find for himself in the given context the right philosophy of life. What is reason then? It is that reflection which takes all the circumstances and conditions of a problem into account before offering a solution. ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି reason, which takes all the circumstances and conditions of a problem into account before offering a solution. Now, read or listen to discourses on the Gita, forget what you have read or heard, and what remains is the Gita. ପଢିବ ଶୁଣିବ ତାପରେ ଭୁଲିଯିବ ଯାହା ରହିଲା ଭିତରେ ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଗୀତା. The Gita puts off the diseases called despondency, complete suspension of action like the one evinced by Arjuna. ବିଷାଦ ବିଷାଦରେ କହିଲା ଏମାନେ ସବୁ ତ ମରିଯିବେ, ଇଏ ତ ମୋର ଭାଇ, ସେ ତ ମୋ ଖୁଡତା, ସେ ତ ଜେଜେ, ଆଉ ମୁଁ କାହା ସହିତ ରହିବି, କୋଉ ରାଜ୍ୟରେ ଶାସନ କରିବି? ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଡେସ୍ପଣ୍ଡେନ୍ସି ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ତା ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ରୋଗ. ସେ ରୋଗର ସଲ୍ୟୁସନ ହଉଛି ଶ୍ରୀମଦ୍ ଭଗବତ ଗୀତା, ସେ ରୋଗର ଔଷଧ. And also akrasia ହଉଛି weakness of the will, like the one evinced by ଦୁର୍ଯ୍ୟୋଧନ. ଦୁର୍ଯ୍ୟୋଧନ କଣ କହିଲେ? ଜାନାମି ଧର୍ମ ନ ଚମେ ପ୍ରବୃତ୍ତି, ଜାନାମି ଅଧର୍ମମ୍ ନ ଚମେ ନିବୃତ୍ତି. ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ଧର୍ମ କଣ, ସେଥିରେ ମୁଁ ପ୍ରବୃତ୍ତ ହେଇପାରୁନି. ଜାଣିଛି ମୋ ଧର୍ମ କଣ, ସେଥିରୁ ମୁଁ ନିବୃତ୍ତ ହେଇପାରୁନି. ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ୱିକନେସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦି ୱିଲ୍. ଆଉ ଆର ପାର୍ଟଟା ଯାହା କହିଲେ, ତୟା ହୃଷିକେଶ ହୃଦିସ୍ଥିତେନ ଯଥା ନିଯୁକ୍ତୋଷି ତଥା କରୋମି, ଏଇଟା ନିହାତି ଭୁଲ. ସେଟା ଭଗବତ ଗୀତାରେ ଅର୍ଜୁନକୁ ସ୍ପଷ୍ଟ କରିଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ମୁଁ କାହାର ପାପ ବା ପୁଣ୍ୟ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରେ ନାହିଁ. ସେଟା ପୁରାପୁରି କର୍ତ୍ତାର ଅଧୀନ. ପୁଣି କର୍ତ୍ତା କିଏ? ଅନ୍ତିମ କର୍ତ୍ତା ହଉଛି ମୁଁ. ଆଉ ତମେ ମୁଁ ସିଏ ଇଏ ଖାଲି ଭାବନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ହଉଛି କର୍ତ୍ତା, ମୁଁ ସବୁ କରିଦେଲି. କାହିଁକିନା ଏ କଥା କହିବା ପଛରେ ଏଇଟା ଭାଗ୍ୟବୋଧ ନାହିଁ. ୟା ପଛରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ଅଛି ଯେ କର୍ମର ଯୋଉ କେତେ ଗୋଟେ କଣ୍ଡିସନ ଅଛି, ସେଥିରେ ଅନସିନ୍ ବା ଦୈବ ପଞ୍ଚମମ୍ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଇଛି. ଦୈବ ହଉଛି ପଞ୍ଚମ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର, ଅନସିନ୍ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର. ତାରି ଯୋଗୁ ମୁଁ ମୋ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟର କର୍ତ୍ତା ହେଇପାରିବି ନାହିଁ. ଯଦି ମୁଁ କ୍ଲେମ କରିବି ସବୁବେଳେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ମୋ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ମାନଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତା, ମୁଁ ତାର କର୍ତ୍ତା ନୁହେଁ. କାହିଁକିନା ସିନ୍ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର ଉପରେ ମୋର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ଅଛି କି ନାହିଁ ଜାଣିନି. ସେ ଆମର ଯେ ବନ୍ଧୁ ଅଛନ୍ତି ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିଥିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରିବା ମୁଁ ଯାହା ସବୁ କରୁଛି ତାର କର୍ତ୍ତା ମୁଁ କି ନାହିଁ. କିନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉ ଅନସିନ୍ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର ଅଛି ତାର ତ ମୁଁ କର୍ତ୍ତା କେବେ ହିଁ ନୁହେଁ. ଆଚ୍ଛା, so the Gita puts up the diseases called despondency and also akrasia and puts one to ease. Disease টা ease ହେଇଯାଏ, whereby one's thought becomes sublime and comes to be situated in one straight line with one's speech and action. ଶୁଭଶ୍ରୀ ସମ୍ପଦା କହୁଥିଲେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ୍ ଲାଇନ୍ କଥା, ଯୋଉ ସିଧା ଗୋଟେ ରାସ୍ତା ନେଇକି ୱାନ୍ କୁ ଇନଫାଇନାଇଟ୍ ପାଖରେ ପହଞ୍ଚେଇ ଦବ, ବା ମେନି କୁ ୱାନ୍ ପାଖରେ ପହଞ୍ଚେଇ ଦବ, ଫାଇନାଇଟ୍ କୁ ଇନଫାଇନାଇଟ୍ ପାଖରେ ପହଞ୍ଚେଇ ଦବ, ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ଯୋଗ. ସେଇ କଥା ମୁଁ ସବୁବେଳେ କହେ ଯେ ଯାହାର ଚିନ୍ତା, କଥା ଏବଂ କର୍ମ ଗୋଟିଏ ସରଳ ରେଖାରେ ଅବସ୍ଥିତ, ସେ ହେଉଛି ସାଧୁ. ଯାହାର ସେଟା ବକ୍ର ରେଖାରେ ଅବସ୍ଥିତ ହେଲା, ସେ ସାଧୁ ନୁହେଁ. ସେଇ କଥା ଗୀତା କହୁଛନ୍ତି. The Gita holds that if we express our real nature, we can never be criminal or wicked men. Man lives in the true life when he expresses the divinity within him. He is perfect when he is living the true life. Sri Krishna does not make a decision for and on behalf of Arjuna. He rather lights a lamp of wisdom, ଯେମିତି ସକାଳେ ଦୀପ ଜଳେଇକିରି ସେମିନାର ଉଦ୍ଘାଟନ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା, in the heart of Arjuna in order to enable him to see the truth and avoid errors. ତା ମନରେ ଜ୍ଞାନର ଦୀପ ଜାଳି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି, ସିଏ ନିଜେ ଦେଖୁ ଠିକ କଣ ଭୁଲ କଣ. After exploding the wrong presuppositions on which Arjuna's philosophy of life was based, and after exploring the way of the right philosophy of life, Sri Krishna did not mince words to say, Jatha ichchasi, tatha kuru. You are very well free to decide on your own. ଯୁଦ୍ଧ କରିବୁ କି ନ କରିବୁ ତୋର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଉପରେ ନିର୍ଭର କରେ. In the words of Swami Ranganathananda, quote, philosophy does not decide things for us. It only offers to guide us, unquote. What we call applied philosophy primarily delivers routine ethics like the Smriti Shastras, but no true ethics like the Gita. On listening to the discourse of Sri Krishna, Arjuna regained his memory, Smriti Labdha, that enables to keep the mind steady and enable to take a decision. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कथा मते एइना देखागला कथाटा अर्जुन आर्गु करचंती प्रथम अध्याय रे कुल क्षय प्रणश्यति कुल क्षय गले सब नाश हे गला श्री कृष्ण ताकु करेक्ट करचंती शेष आडू को गीतार कहउचंती स्मृति नाशात प्रणश्यति स्मृति नाशात बुद्धिनाश बुद्धिनाशात प्रणश्यति स्मृतिनाश हेले बुद्धिनाश हे गले सेटा को कहंती मरण शेष आउ कुल क्षय हे गले शेष सेटा नुह एमती नाना कथा जो अर्जुन जेते रोग अच्छी डेस्पेंडेंसी अंतर्गत जेते रोगर लक्षण ये जोटा कहले जे कुल क्षय हे गले सब सरीगला मरण हे गला सेटा से रोगर गोटे लक्षण से लक्षण ये सब जो लक्षण दूर करा जिवो एवं रोग को जड़ दूर करा जिवो दीटा उपाय अच्छी ये लक्षण ट्रीटमेंट एटी नहीं एटी जड़ ट्रीटमेंट अच्छी भगवद गीतारे. It is philosophy that saves the intellect by removing the cataract of confusion and enables to see life steadily and see it whole. Mahamahopadhyaya Umesh Mishra puts it succinctly like this. When the perfect knowledge is achieved, then alone all the wrong notions are dispelled. Truth is manifested. Atman is dissociated with all that is non-Atman and assumes its own Swarupa, so that not only the Jivatman is cut off from the present body and its activities, but also from those actions and their results which were acquired in its previous births, unquote. Region is autonomous. A college is autonomous and the region is autonomous. Autonomous means ता ऊपर आओ कि मालिक नांदी खाउंद नांदी किंतु कॉलेज ऊपर आवश्यक अच्छी. But from this, it should not be inferred that moral reasoning is autonomous in the Gita. Moral reasoning is made to rest firmly on Advaitic metaphysics. It might be asked here, for the sake of theoretical interest, whether the metaphysics of the Gita can be relegated, बाद दे देगी, and its ethics be retained. The metaphysics बाद दे देगी, खाली ethics की रखी होगा कि पचरा जाए पारे. मैंने ब्रह्म ब्रह्म एगुड़ा सब जिंदगी को उतरे सकाल प्रश्न पचरा होता है. ब्रह्म ब्रह्म से उड़ा सब देखी नहीं से उड़ा छाड़ो. खाली कौन कोरियो पुरियो कौन न कोरियो पुरियो सेती कोई दोनों. से तो कोरी हब्बो की. Those who deny that the Gita is not a philosophical text mean to say that it is not merely a text of metaphysics or an epistemology. Secondly, value statements cannot be derived from statements of fact. There are logical difficulties in deriving ought from is. जो मैंने is ought problem पढ़ी थे philosophy रे, से मैंने वो इटा ठीक बुझा पड़ियो. I want to submit here, and this I submitted at the recently concluded session of International Congress of Vedanta, that the distinction between fact and value does not remain ultimately. Fact and value distinction टा ultimately रहिबनी. मु तो मना करछि एटा आरंभ रे religion, philosophy रे पुनी metaphysics, epistemology, logic एगुडा जो watertight compartment करा जायछि वेस्ट रे एठी सेम करा जायनि. ତେଣୁକରି ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଯୋଉ ଡିଷ୍ଟିଂସନଟା ୱେଷ୍ଟ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ କରାହେଉଛି ଯେତେ ନିଟଲି ଏଠି ସେଟା କରାଯାଇ ପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। Fact becomes value oriented and value becomes fact grounded. Fact becomes value oriented and value becomes fact grounded. କେମିତି ମୁଁ ସେ କହେ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ଏବଂ ସାଧୁ ଲୋକମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମନ୍ଦିର କରନ୍ତି ବା ସେମିତି କିଛି ଅନୁଷ୍ଠାନ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତି, ସେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେଗୁଡ଼ିକ ତିଆରି ହେଇସାରେ ଉଦ୍ଘାଟନ ହେଲା ବେଳକୁ କହନ୍ତି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ପଇସା କାହାକୁ ମାଗିନଥିଲୁ, ସମସ୍ତେ ଯାଚିକିରି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଏଇଟା ଏକଦମ ଠିକ, କାହାକୁ ମାଗିନଥିବେ। ଏଠି ଖଣ୍ଡଗିରିରେ ଯୋଉ ହେଇଛି ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ମନ୍ଦିର, ସେ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ଆମର ଇଏ ଥିଲେ, ମତେ ଦିନେ କହିଲେ ଆମର ଚିହ୍ନା ପରିଚୟ ଅଛି, ଆମର ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ମନ୍ଦିର ତିଆରି କରୁଛୁ, ବାସ୍ ମନ୍ଦିର ତିଆରି କରୁଛୁ, ଏଟା ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ଜଣା ପଡିଲା, ତାର ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିକେସନ ଆସିଲା, ଭାଲ୍ୟୁ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିକେସନ ତମକୁ ଦବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଯେମିତି ପାର୍ଲାମେଣ୍ଟରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରେସିଡେଣ୍ଟ ଆସନ୍ତି ପାର୍ଲାମେଣ୍ଟକୁ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଆନାଉନ୍ସ କରାଯାଏ ଗେଟ୍ ମୁହଁରେ, ମେମ୍ବର୍ସ ଅଫ ଦି ପାର୍ଲାମେଣ୍ଟ, ଦ ପ୍ରେସିଡେଣ୍ଟ। ବେଶ ଏଟା ଖାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ଭଳିଆ ଜଣା ପଡୁଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ନୁହଁ, ପ୍ରେସିଡେଣ୍ଟ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ସବୁ ଛିଡା ହୁଅ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ଦ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିକେସନ। ତେଣୁକରି ସେଇଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ ଆଉ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ, ଇଜ୍ ଏବଂ ଅଟ୍, ଏଇଟାକୁ ଅଲଗା କରିହବନି ଏଠି। ଦି ଅଲ୍ଟିମେଟ ରିଆଲିଟି, that is Brahman, which belongs to the order of logical, is, which has the sense of must be, transcends is versus ought distinction. The Bhagavad Gita depicts a complete picture of the world and man's place in it. The nature of the world and the nature of man are just congruent, and ekati. The world of the Gita seeks to depict that Gita seeks to depict takes into account not the existing situations only, but all the possible situations too. As a result, the world and life become one if we are permitted to use Woodkinson's idiom. So whatever are the broad features of the world to exist and to be conceived are the broad features of life to live. Metaphysics and morality coincide as fact and value coincide at the transcendental level. As such, one can choose to call the Gita ethics as ethical naturalism or ethical transcendentalism. In any case, the text seeks to transvalue human values. It does not lay down what to do, what not to do, and when, except by way of some examples to show how trans values could be applied to concrete value situations. It only seeks to, ଯେମିତି ଅର୍ଜୁନ କହିଲେ ଯଥା ଇଚ୍ଛା ଅଛି ତଥା କୁରୁ, ସେଟା କହିଛି ଯୁଦ୍ଧ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ସେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ କଲେ, କାହିଁକିନା ସେ ଦେଖିଲେ ତା ଷ୍ଟେସନ ଅଫ ଡ୍ୟୁଟିରେ ଏବଂ ସେଇ କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସଟରେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ ହିଁ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ତେଣୁକରି ଏଇଗୁଡ଼ା ହଉଛି ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ। It only seeks to present a framework that is universal, non-spatial, non-temporal, and transcendental, on the basis of which there could be any possible value system of do's and do nots in a spatio-temporal situation. There are some who compare and contrast the teachings of science with the teachings of the text like the Gita. For Swami Gautamananda, the Gita is a wonderful text and says that one goes on repeating the name Gita, Gita, Gita. It becomes Tyagi, which is its very message. Gita, 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 Tyagi ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ସର୍ବକର୍ମ ଫଳ ତ୍ୟାଗୀ और सर्वारंभ परित्यागी। The Bhai Mahavir asserts, in science, able to give man an ideal which is worth living for. ସାଇନ୍ସ କଥା କୁହାଉଥିଲା, ମୁଁ କେବଳ ଯାହା ଦେଖୁଛି ତାହା ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରୁଛି, ସେଇ କେବଳ ଅଛି, ଅନ୍ୟ କିଛି ନାହିଁ। ଯଦି ପଚରା ଯିବ, is science able to give man an ideal which is worth living for? କଣ କହିବ ସାଇନ୍ସ? Science enables us to have more weapons, more destructive weapons. But is there any weapon which is able to distinguish between good and bad, a right cause and a wrong cause? But I do not see any justification in comparing the two, scientific pursuit and philosophic pursuit. except for the purpose of emotional persuasion, because they are categorically distinct in respect of subject matter and method. I wish to end up with two remarks that need elaboration, but that I would not do the elaboration now. This is better realized than elaborated, but elaboration needs to be done. The first one is that as words bhogo, enjoyment or better consumption, bhogo is meaningful in contradiction with tyago, renunciation. So also, bhogi, one who does bhogo, and tyagi, one who does tyago, they are also complementary, and one needs the other. But the words tyaga and bhogo become significant if one who is a bhogi is capable of becoming a tyagi, and vice versa. One who is a tyagi is capable of becoming a bhogi. This is nothing other than the state of tyaga in bhogo and bhogo in tyaga. Sansara in sannyasa and sannyasa in sansara. The second one is that, and it is related to the first one, mukti is coextensive with shanti. Shanti is mukti. And shanti is coextensive with karma sannyasa. Karma sannyasa lies in concatenating, or better harmonizing, bhoga and tyaga in one's thoughts and actions. This is the long path of sadhana, and in fact, the whole of life is sadhana. The path is from Visada to Ananda, indicated in the short space. A couplet of the politician poet Atal Bihari Vajpayee, our formerly Prime Minister of India, encapsulates the essential teachings of the Yoga Shastra, the Bhagavad Gita, thus: क्या हार क्या जीत में, किंचित नहीं भयभीत में. क्या हार क्या जीत में, किंचित नहीं भयभीत में. कर्तव्य पथ पर जब ही मिला, यह भी सही वो भी सही. कर्तव्य पथ पर जो भी मिला, जब भी मिला नहीं, जो भी मिला, जोटे मिला, यह भी सही वो भी सही. वरदान नहीं मांगूंगा, हो कुछ पर हार नहीं मानूंगा. वरदान नहीं मांगूंगा, हो कुछ पर हार नहीं मानूंगा. With these lines, I come to stop. Thank you very much for your attention and sincerity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful deliberation. I think this is very thought-provoking lecture, and very analytic, and it is definitely we more think on this kind of thing, because Yoga Visada is a kind of thing which is very relevant in your daily life. So I must thank you for your beautiful deliberation and thought-provoking lecture,
Thank you.
sir. And
Thank you so much.
okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, କିଛି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରି ପାରିବା sir? ନା ପରେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ପଚାରିବା?
और लास्ट पचारियो.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर पाढ़ींगर आगे नहीं जाओ, कहना डॉक्टर पाढ़ी को लोक माने अपेक्षा करथिबे, तांकर सब रोग सिम्पटम थिबो, कैसे पचकरिबे तो.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
हो.
So now we move to the next lecture. So before going to the next lecture, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Madan Mohan Padhi. अच्छा सर अछंती तो
अछंती अछंती अछंती.
ओके 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 सर.
हाँ हाँ वो अच्छे आज्ञा.
Let me introduce Dr. Madan Mohan Padhi. And Dr. Padhi is a MD and PhD in Ayurveda. He worked in different posts at Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences under Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. And he retired as a Deputy Director of General in 2016. He also acted as a Director in charge of Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy under Government of India. He has guided several research projects on Ayurveda and yoga, and he has also published more than 220 research papers, which is available in different sites like Google Scholar, Academia, Edu, ResearchGate, etc. He has attended more than 150 national and international seminars. He has received several awards like CCRS, Scientist Award from Government of India. He also received Lifetime Achievement from AIMS, New Delhi. He has visited more than 15 countries like Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, etc. As a part of Government of India delegate, he propagated or promoted the Ayurveda and Yoga science. So we have such a great eminent scholar or eminent speaker to this national seminar, which is sponsored by ICPR New Delhi, and we very fortunate to have you, sir. And with this, may I now invite Dr. Madan Mohan Padhi sir for the deliberation. Now, over to you, sir. You may start your deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you, respected Ganesh Prasad Das sir. And am I audible to all? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are very fine.
Ganesh Prasad sir. Okay. And principal of the college, all the teaching faculties, and other participants. Last time also Ganesh sir had introduced me before Dr. Kailash Chandra Maharana of Balugaon College. He is also here. And thank you all to give me this opportunity. So sir has already told about the basics of yoga. Just I am to say something which is not touched by sir. You all know he has already defined what is yoga. Yoga means joining or union. That joining or union is meant for originally what is the Sanskrit meaning? That is between Atma and Paramatma. That means the individual psychic being or soul to join with Paramatma or the universal soul, which is called as Paramatma or Brahma. That is the motto of yoga. And in our Hindu mythology, all these are described in a very primitive age. Even Lord Shiva is called as Yogi. He is also Yogi. Shiva is also Yogi. From him, the knowledge of yoga was propagated to Saptarshi, then to other divine personalities. Thereafter, it landed to earth. And practically, almost around 1000 BC, all the texts of Ayurveda were written. It was divided into 8 branches like medicine, surgery, ENT, gynec, pediatric, etc. into 8 branches, Rasayan, Bajikaran. Then the main text of Ayurveda, which is now available as Charak Samhita, was originally written around 1000 BC by Agnivesh. It is only class note of Agnivesh, what he learned from Punarvasu Atreya. This book was again redacted by Charak around 400 BC. And during a contemporary age, Maharshi Patanjali, he make a collection of all the yogic practices available at that time and prior to him, and composed in the form of Yoga Sutra. So that is why Patanjali is told as father of yoga, and he started it in a systematic manner. He wrote this text comprising of 196 verses in 4 volumes. It is available. Subsequently, Vyasa wrote this commentary on this book. In this book, he has defined yoga, the purpose of yoga, the aim of yoga, and other things. Historically, we find it in several coins and fossils of this Saraswati Indus civilization, which is told to be around 2700 BC. Apart from that, in all our Vedas, in Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, in our Buddhism, Jainism, all Darshanas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Purana, Saivaj, Vaishnavas, everywhere you will find yoga. When Patanjali made it systematically, subsequently many scholars wrote different texts and commentaries on yoga. So between 500 before Christ to 8th century or 8000 AD, the period for yoga is called as classical age. During this period, Vyasa wrote commentary on Yoga Sutra, and during this period also Bhagavad Gita was very much popular in India. Then Mahavir and Jainism, they also had some sort of yogic life, and beginning from dhyana, asana to up to samadhi, there are different types of philosophy behind them. So this yoga is defined into eightfold branches, having eightfold branches. One is yama. Yama means sayam, control. Then another is niyam. You have to abide by certain principles or rules. Then asana and pranayam. Usually nowadays people very often think yoga means only asana. No, yoga has 8 components. Then asanas are postures or exercise in a different way, which makes the body fit or detoxified as well as the mind. So that is asana. Then a pranayama. Pranayama is the most popular form of yoga. You know, there are several varieties of pranayama like Anulom Vilom, Kapalbhati, Brahmari, like that. All have their own implications and role in prevention of diseases. Then there is, after pranayama, there is pratyahara. Pratyahara means that what Sir told repeatedly, dissociation. Dissociation means we have the concept of Indian philosophy that human body is composed of 24 elements like Prakriti, Mahan, Ahankar, Panch Mahabhut, Panch Karmendriya, Panch Gyanendriya, Panch Tarmatra, like this. So this Gyanendriya, which is controlled by mind or mana or the psychic being, that is very unstable, and that is very difficult to control. So if you get dissociated from the urges of sense organs, so Gyanendriya, they have the natural urges, and it is very difficult to control. So dissociation means you have to take control over them. You should be aloof from this your desire and kamana. You do work, but don't desire for. In Bhagavad Gita it has been told, asakti ranabhisanga putra dara grvadisu nityanta samachittatva ishta anishta upapattisu. Means stable mind. Ishta means if you have a good time or good, you have got some benefit. Anishta, if you have faced some harm. Upapattisu, if you have faced some danger, even then your mind should be stable. That is the teaching of Gita. Then dharana. Dharana means concentration. If, you know, the yogi Sri Aurobindo was there. He had 3 principles: dhyana, tyaga, and atma samarpana. So ekagra is the important factor for dhyana. Then dhyana means meditation. Meditation is usually done in 2 ways. One is don't think anything. Get yourself dissociated with all the urges of sense organs. Then that is think about sunya. Everything is empty. That is one type of dhyana. Another is ekagrata or concentration. Whatever God or any thing you like, you have a concentration upon that. Then that is called as ekagrata. Then last part is samadhi. It is very difficult to define samadhi. That is the last stage of yoga. If somebody proceeds spiritually, then at the last stage, the individual soul can join with the supreme soul. That is called as samadhi, dissociation from all earthly desires, all earthly affairs, and that is the blissful state. Then from 1800 AD to 17th century or 1700 AD, then there were several great men of India who propagated yoga, like Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, all these Tulsidas. Then this Hatha Yoga tradition came from this period also. Our Gorakhnath, Matsyendranath, they popularized Hatha Yoga. So what now you see all are as such the classical form or a modified form of yoga. So after 17th century, after 1700 AD, then the modern period came. In this period, several our great men, Mahapurush, they propagated yoga in a modified way, which is usually acceptable to our modern society. Among them, important are Ram Krishna Paramahansa, Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo. Then in more modern age, we have Sadhguru, Swami Ramdev, Ravi Shankarji, there Sudarshana Kriya, this Iyengar Yoga, Mahesh Yogi, all they propagated yoga with a little modification or as such. So this concept is based on some anatomical to subtle nature, like this Yoga Shastra they define this is stage, kosha. They tell Annamaya Kosha, which is physical sheath or human body. Then Pranamaya Kosha, which is vital energy, the part of breath, life force. Then Manomaya Kosha, which is experiencing or sensation. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha, the intuition, the wisdom, awareness comes from that stage only. Then Anandamaya Kosha, that is the final stage. So all these are part of yoga, and there are a concept of chakras, that is they are anatomical structures, how they are related with diseases. I will a little bit explain. Chakra originally literally means wheel that moves, but in human body it begins from the end of the spinal cord and ends at Brahmarandra or on the scalp. So on a spiritual way, there are enormous nadis or nerves in the body, and all the sensations are passed through those nadis. So the bottommost is Muladhara, that is root chakra, and any blockade to that chakra results in arthritis, constipation, bladder problem, urinary problem, colon problem, piles, and others. Then above to it, there is a sacral plexus or Swadhisthana chakra, and any blockade or anomaly in that chakra results in urinary tract infection, low back pain, some sexual problems, and other diseases. Then above it, at the level of umbilicus, that is called as Manipura or solar plexus, any blockade or any disorder in that chakra results in irritable bowel syndrome, which is very common nowadays, ulcer, and hyperacidity, heartburn, etc. Then above to it, there is Anahata chakra, which is at the level of heart. Then any blockade in that chakra results in heart problem, lungs problem, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, bronchial asthma, weight problem. All these are related to Anahata chakra. Then a Visuddhi chakra is lying at throat. That is dealt with. Any anomaly is resulted with speech problem, teething problem, gum problem, mouth problem, and thyroid problem also. Then above to it, there is Agnya chakra, which is called as Bhru, in between two eyes. And any anomaly in that chakra results in headache, ear problem, hearing problem, and other problems. Then above that, there is Sahasrara, or that is called as crown chakra or Brahmarandra. That is the center for enlightenment. Any blockade or disorder at that area results in problem of memory, cognition, intuition, blockage, and other disorders. They are related with these chakras. So whatever yoga and asana, all these exercises they do, they clear the bucket, they detoxify the body, they strengthen these chakras so that most of the diseases are prevented. You see, what is the difference between yoga, gyms, and other type of sports? The difference that if you run, if you may go to gym, if you make bicycling and other things, your peripheral circulation is promoted. The blood circulation of your hands, legs, and limbs, they are promoted. They become healthy. But what about the inner organs? Your inner organs are vital organs: heart, lungs, liver, pancreas, kidney. In case of female uterus, all these are vital organs, and they should be more healthy if you want to remain healthy. And yoga, these postures, this pranayam and others, they promote this blood circulation of the inner organs, the viscera, and more oxygenation. That is why they remain healthy forever. So the yogis live a long life. So another thing, important thing is that you see, the lifestyle has been changed. What is happening? We in Ayurveda we have some advice about lifestyle. What is lifestyle? Now everybody is telling that now the lifestyle related diseases are more. So what is lifestyle? What do you mean by lifestyle? Lifestyle means the way somebody lives in, the way somebody continues to work. That is called as lifestyle. So to remain healthy, you have to maintain a good lifestyle. You see, in Ayurveda also, which is well accepted by yoga and naturopathy, there are certain principles that is called as way of life. They are usually in Ayurveda it is called as dinacharya, ratricharya, rutucharya, ahar vihar, then parivesh, your social environment, your climatic environment, then swasthvrata, personal hygiene, then sadvrata means good conduct. These are essential for a good lifestyle or healthy lifestyle. So it is advised to take meal earlier, to sleep earlier, to take good food. There are certain principles of dieting. You should take healthy diet. You know, in Yoga Shastra, this Bhagavad Gita, what is repeatedly told by our Ganesh sir, there is a verse, it is told that Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga eliminates disease in those persons only who have a yuktahara vihara. Yuktahara vihara means they take a proper diet. This diet has also been classified in Gita. They have classified the dietetic pattern and the dietetic items into three types. One is sattvic, another is rajasic, another is tamasic. So in sattvic, it has been told rasya snigdha stira hrudya ahara sattvika priya. Ayu satya balaarogya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha stira hrudya ahara sattvika priya. That means which have a good taste, which are unctuous, means this dairy products, milk, ghee, then which increases bala or immunity. Then sukha means arogya, that is health, which promotes health. Rasya snigdha stira hrudya, which are good for heart, they are told as sattvika. Then the rajasika food has also been classified. It has been told Kattamla lavana tisna tikhna ruksha vidayina ahara rajasa sesta dukkha soka maya prada. That means the food items which are rich in katu means pungent taste, raga. Then amla, excess sour, alcohol, acidic nature of foods. Then lavana, excess namkin. You know, nowadays science also says if you take excess amount of salt, then you will have a high blood pressure. Tikhna ruksha vidayina, all hot and spicy food. If you take those type of foods, they are rajasa sesta, rajasic nature people, they like this type of food, and dukkha soka maya prada, they give diseases. Then what is told about this tamasic khadya? That is told as puti paryusitang cha jata jamang gatarasang puti paryusitang ahara uchishtam api chametyang aharang tamasapiyam. That means which is kept overnight, the taste of which has been spoiled, which has been putrefied, sadi jaichi ba pachi jaichi. All rotten fish, dried fish, all these things, they are tamasic khadya. So they are all causes of diseases. So what is happening? You see, in ancient times, even after independence, before 2000, the disease pattern in our society was entirely different throughout the world, or in India, or in the state, you can say. At that time, the people were living in a very natural environment. They were exposed to enough wind, air, or natural sunshine. They natural have some sort of physical labor or exercise. In our childhood time, we have not heard anybody died of heart disease or anybody died of suffering from asthma, this diabetes and high blood pressure. It is very less. The communicable diseases were more, like cholera, dysentery, which were transmitted from one to another. People were dying out of malaria. There is cerebral malaria, then meningitis. Then came in recent days, these communicable diseases have also come, like this encephalitis, chikungunya, H1N1, influenza, swine flu, Nipah virus, and the latest one is COVID virus. They have been fatal. So at that time, what is happening? We had a natural diet. Our food grains did not have these fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. They did not have these insecticides, pesticides, and what is happening in our agri products? Most of the vegetable or these grains, they have this residues of fertilizers, insecticides, or pesticides, and they are the causes of modern day diseases. Then what is happening? Our food pattern has been changed. We have given up the indigenous way of fooding, like this chuda, mudhi, or dosa, upama. All these we have left. Now the our young generation are more fond of this noodles, burger, momo, Maggi, and so many things. And all those have a chemical. They are now causing many diseases. So instead of communicable diseases, the lifestyle related diseases have become more. So, the lifestyle diseases have been classified by several authors. They tell this is the personal choice of a person to have one type of lifestyle. For example, they say somebody has a bohemian nature of lifestyle. That means somebody wants to live alone, remain alone. He does not want to mix with others, to mix with the society, to have more friends. He remains himself. He likes to be alone. That is one type of lifestyle. Somebody has a nomadic lifestyle. Somebody wants to visit so many places, either as a pilgrim or to see the beautiful places. Somebody visits country to country. And somebody, due to his work or profession or occupation, has to move from one place to another. So he has nomadic way of life. Then another is nowadays corporate lifestyle. If somebody works in a big sophisticated company earning a huge amount, so he does not have time to talk to any person. He has to take a fast food, and other foods always remain in air conditioned house, and riding on a vehicle or flying in flights. That is one corporate lifestyle. Somebody having nowadays also rural lifestyle. They are living in village, but the village life is now polluted by our modern inventions. They do not have natural food, organic food. They are also affected from different type of pollutions. Then urban lifestyle. We all are living in urban area. Somebody is having one service. He cannot remain at home. If husband and wife are working, they cannot look after their children. Some other person is there. And most of them, they give a mobile to the child. And now most of the brain problem, speech problem, delayed speech, autism, ADHD, attention deficit activity disease are due to this is screen time. These children are more interested in mobile than to talk with or to mix with their family members or parents, or they want to see a cartoon in the TV. When they will take food, they have to see a cartoon like that. So they have forgotten to do exercise. That is why yoga is more relevant nowadays, because you see, not only in our children are affected, our young population, our old generation are also similarly affected. So after 2000, our World Health Organization made a survey. So what are the morbidity causes of morbidity or death, causes of death in different countries? Then it was found in all developed countries like this European countries or America, there this is stroke, heart disease, the death rate is 25 to 35%, and another 25 to 35% was cancer. While in India, we had at that time between 2009 to 2012, cancer rate was only 7% death due to cancer. But now it has crossed almost 12% in India also, due to this pollution and other lifestyle changes. So all these have led to so many common diseases nowadays in India, like ischemic heart disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, stroke, paralysis, diarrheal disease, irritable bowel syndrome, I told, lower respiratory tract infection, tuberculosis, neonatal diseases of this babies, then asthma, bronchial asthma, diabetes, chronic kidney disease. You see, nowadays you will find the dialysis centers. Government is opening hospital after hospital for cancer, for tertiary care, for secondary hospital care. Previously, if somebody has a cold or a fever or a vomiting or a diarrhea, those were considered as common diseases. But now, what are common diseases? Now, those diseases are replaced by diabetes, high blood pressure or hypertension, kidney disease, and cancer. All these four diseases are increasing enormously, and simultaneously one liver disease has also been added. Now, in a town area, if you make ultrasound, you will find more than 40% people are suffering from fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That may lead to cirrhosis, that may lead to cancer. So liver diseases are also in rising in the world. It is coming to 10th place as the cause of death, the liver diseases, mostly fatty liver and cirrhosis. Then why all these are happening? Now, due to disorder in the lifestyle, another thing, and all this can be controlled by yoga. All this can be controlled by yoga. You see, even in communicable diseases, last time this COVID-19, everybody could know Ayurveda more during this COVID period than earlier. What happened? In COVID, the person of aged 80 or 90 years could survive after being affected with COVID-19, even after having hospitalization, while a young boy of 18 or 19 years age died. So there is no stable criteria, no definite treatment. Only some management, symptomatic management was there. At that time, most of the people in most of the countries followed India. Vaccination is good. Vaccination created immunity in so many persons. But simultaneously, our Ministry of Ayush made a protocol, issued some guidelines for public, issued some guidelines for practitioners also. They propagated some Ayush Kadha and simultaneously advised to do yoga and pranayama. Why? Now, yoga is meant to increase the immunity. You see, at that time in a TV channel, you might have seen all the allopathic doctors and specialists were also advising yoga. In most of the hospitals, after being discharged, they advised the yoga to have the immunity maintained. That is why yoga have become more popular throughout the world. And I will give two examples. While I was working as a director of this Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy, at that time I was asked to prepare a documentary on the then minister, union minister. What happened? He was swimming there was some parliamentarian competition for parliamentarians. In Goa, there is a river, there was a swimming competition. Prior to that, they practiced it in Talkotara Stadium of New Delhi. In that swimming pool, some minister, he was from Goa, he could not complete one spell of swimming. And at that time, some madam who was spouse of High Commissioner at Canada, and she was there. She is very expert in yoga. Then she told, sir, what is this? You are at this age and you cannot complete one spell from this side to that side. So then she advised some yoga. She remained in India for the next 8 days and taught yoga to that minister. And after 3 months, that competition was there in Goa among the parliamentarians, and that minister stood fast. That was the chamatkar of yoga. So I was told to prepare a documentary on that, and we had started the work, but subsequently I had to relinquish from that charge, and that could not be completed due to change of scenario in the government of India. But this was the miracle of yoga. And our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, he was personally benefited by yoga. He learnt it from S. Vyasa, Bangalore, and he could realize, and he's a promoter of Indian culture, and he wants to promote all these things throughout the world so that India can be guru. And that is why he advised this Ministry of Ayush. He created the Ministry of Ayush. Previously, it was a department only. And that Ayush Ministry in 2015, this first yoga, International Yoga Day was celebrated. Fortunately, I was part of that. From India Gate to Rashtrapati Bhavan, there were rows of the border security force, Central Reserve Police Force, Central Industrial Security Force, NCC student cadets, then this yoga students, like that up to Rashtrapati Bhavan, then government officers like that. There were some rows, and this Guinness Book authorities, they had assigned the persons to calculate whether really they are doing yoga or deviating from the posture. Those who are making a mild deviation, we are get out from this calculation. So in that case, 84 countries had participated, and 35,985 participants were there, valid participants. That is why Minister of Ayush got 2 certificates for the Guinness Book Records for largest number of participants at that time, and the largest number of the countries also, 84 countries. So I was controlling that. Our Director General was in charge of Border Security Force, and I was in charge of the CRPF, that row, just to make them seated, to keep their dress properly, to see that they are in doing asanas in the proper position. Thereafter, Minister of Ayush designed a protocol that is called as, in 2016, that is called as Common Yoga Protocol. In that yoga protocol, it has been advised. You might be knowing, I think it is also available in some website. They have designed this protocol in a way that the healthy people can remain healthy. They can prevent many diseases. So before starting yoga asanas, they have first they have advised for a prayer, then bending of different parts so that the limbs and organs are flexible to perform yoga properly, like neck bending, then shoulder, then back, then hip, then thigh, then foot, like that. So these bending exercises make the organs flexible. Thereafter, in standing posture, they have advised Tadasana, Vrikshasana, Padhastasana, Ardhachakrasana, and Trikonasana in standing posture. Then in a sitting posture, they have advised Bhadrasana, Vajrasana, Virasana, Ardha Ustrasana, Ustrasana, Sasankasana, Uttana Mandugasana. All these are in a sitting posture. Then prone posture, Makarasana, Bhujangasana, and Salavasana. Then in a supine posture, there is Setubandhasana, Uttana Padasana, Ardha Halasana, Pavanamuktasana, and Savasana. All these are in supine. Supine means petaku upuru kariki. Then after that, this pranayam is advised. It is Kapalbhati or Nadi Sodhana pranayam or Anulom Vilom pranayam or Sitali or Brahmari. A little bit different methods. Then there is dhyana, meditation for at least 2 minutes. Then there is sankalpa. Then there is santipata. This is the common yoga protocol. And for a disease, specific diseases, a lot of researches have been done in yoga and naturopathy also, and some herbs also. You know, in India, the research on yoga is very less. Most of the researchers have published in international, very sound journals. This having high impact factor, and all these are done in foreign countries. In India, very few. In India, there are some cardiologists like Dr. Manchanda at Delhi, some Hegde. They have done some research on different type of heart diseases and chronic lungs diseases. They have published the paper. And recently, during COVID also, this effect of yoga and pranayama along with standard care have been done. And this I Basabreddy, what Ganesh sir was telling, he had published one paper in Delhi policy, some around 80,000. They were given some ice kit, and among them, one group was there with yogasan, some group was studied without yogasan. So in the group performing yoga, less number of people were affected from corona, while in the control group or who had no yogasan, more number of people were affected from corona. So in research studies also, these benefits of yoga have been proved. But one thing we have to mind, before doing yoga, you will get the benefit of yoga if you do it properly. So nowadays we have seen in so many parks, people are going and just putting some mat, somebody is dictating and some others are performing, and very often they are deviating. They are not giving any proper advice, but have the advice from some properly qualified yoga teacher or yoga trainer, at least who has learned for 6 months to 12 months at least. So, or have done some course. Now we have one ICCR under Government of India, International Cooperation for Cultural Relations. They are sponsoring this yoga certified teachers from India and deploying them in different countries, high commissioners. Somewhere our husband, wife, or only husband, only wife, they are working in different high commissions, big, where there are larger offices like USA, Germany. There we have the yoga instructors, and it is a huge crowd. They are coming there and learning yoga. Why yoga is more popular than Ayurveda? One thing I am to clarify: yoga is a non-drug therapy. You don't require any drug to take. While Ayurveda is also equally popular, but not in the name of Ayurveda. As yoga is present in more than 180 countries, Ayurveda is also present, especially the Panchakarma part, that is available in as wellness center in different countries. I had visited this Switzerland, Sweden, Armenia, Nigeria, and this South Korea. Everywhere there is Panchakarma. Our non-NRIs, non-resident Indians, in collaboration with some foreigners, they have established these yoga centers. Very popular in Germany also. I visited this Frankfurt, Hamburg, and Bristol, some other village area of Germany. There also yoga is very popular. So why this is popular? Because due to non-drug therapy, and it can be practiced, it can be exercised along with Ayurvedic treatment, along with homeopathic treatment, along with allopathic treatment, or without them, and they have the strength in this chronic lifestyle related diseases which are prevalent now. You see, nowadays most of the patients are coming having either diabetes or uncontrolled diabetes. That means after taking 4 or 5 drugs, they are being advised to take insulin, And even after insulin, they are prescribed with 3-4 tablets. Even then, the sugar is out of control. Fasting is 300 plus, and postprandial 2 hours after food is more than 300 or 400, in spite of insulin or other tablets. In those cases, yoga asanas act very tremendously in diabetes mellitus. Similarly, some asanas, including Shirodhara, relaxing position, they are helpful in hypertension. In hypothyroidism, there are very large number of cases of hypothyroidism. You know, we've been beginning from young age, young girls and boys, up to the diabetic patients, mostly up to elderly, 70, 80s. People are taking this thyroxine 25 mg, 50 mg like that. Hypothyroidism is a greater problem. Why it happened? Now, you know, this iodine salt. In our Ayurveda, there is a verse, Kalartha Karmanang Hinamithyati Yoga Rogotpadaka. That means your food or habit or act, Hina Mithyati Yoga, you have to act in a proper manner. You should not do in a hypo manner. It is also harmful. You should not do it in a hyper manner. Don't take more food, excess food. Don't take very less food or starvation. Take a proper food. And Mithya Yoga, that means unhealthy food. If you take repeatedly all these things, then there will be a number of diseases. So what happened during 80s, 90s, 70s, the thyroid and the thyroid deficiency caused so many complications in pregnancy also, and in the newborn baby, they were suffering from polio and some muscle wasting, some rickets and other diseases due to deficiency of iodine. So government decided not to sell common salt in the market. They banned it, and they mixed the iodine in all the salts. Without iodine, there is no salt. Then what happened? The iodine entered into the body in a very larger quantity than what we require. So excess iodine again caused disturbance in autoimmune system. Our immunity system attacked our thyroid. Then that is called as autoimmune thyroiditis or Hashimoto thyroiditis. That is very common nowadays. You will find most of the people having hypothyroidism attacking this thyroid chain. Diabetes is very common. The chronic kidney disease, most of the people are coming either diabetic or non-diabetic, having chronic kidney disease. The urea is increased, the creatinine is increased, and in the long run, they are going for dialysis. And once they go to dialysis, their life expectancy is maximum 2 to 3 years. Similarly, cancer is rising. The smokers, they are more facing mouth cancer and lung cancer. Then this alcohol and excess non-vegetarian items, they are facing liver cancer and intestinal cancer. This is all these type of cancer are, and this ladies cervical cancer, uterine cancer. Though all these are very common nowadays, and to prevent all these things, yoga and regulated lifestyle are very important to maintain your immunity, to detoxify your body, to, and another is occupational stress are also very common nowadays. Occupational stress means we have no time for exercise, we have no time to run, we have to no time to go for sports. But for yoga, for asana, we have the time. We can do it within our home. We can do it. But why I am advising to do it on the instruction of a proper trainer? Because while we went to so many countries to teach them about benefits of yoga and some asanas, some postures, along with some of my officers from Yoga Research Council, I visited once Armenia, and there the medical university professors, they told, yes, some Armenian citizen along with your Indian citizen counterpart from Rishikesh started a yoga training center here, and we banned it. They banned it. Why? They banned it because most of the persons faced ligament injury because they could not do it properly. This tennis elbow joint was affected, and the ligament of shoulder was injured. Because even nowadays, I am also observing some patients with osteoarthritis, affected swelling and pain in knee joints. Some yoga gurus are advising to jump so that there is more pressure on knee and knee is further damaged. If slip disc, now most of the persons having pain in the lumbar area are having, if you do a MRI, there will be a compression of L4, L5 or L5S1. And operation is advised. Operation is not success in every case. In those cases also, this asanas and other exercises are advised. So all these contraindications must be known. When to do yoga, the ideal time is at morning and in empty stomach. If evening, it should be also empty stomach. Then it is beneficial. If you have a full stomach or full food of foods in abdomen, you should not do yoga. It is more harmful rather than giving any benefit. So in a research studies also, yoga has shown benefit in diabetes mellitus, in this arthritis, for stress management in cancer patients. In cancer stage 4, when the pain starts, first they will give the small painkiller 1, then after some days 2, 3, 4, like that. Then when all these painkillers will be failure, they will give morphine, opium derivatives. Then after some days, that they will also not respond. They will give injections after tablets, some patches. Thereafter, the patient will die. So at that time, there is a fear psychosis. Yes, I am going to die. That fear psychosis can be minimized by yoga, by some sort of posture, some sort of asana, dhyana. There have been several studies on that also. So that is why our Honorable Prime Minister put a resolution in the UNA. It was supported by 177 countries. They were co-sponsored. And since then, what is happening to make what you are doing now? You have just celebrating this, demarcating our International Yoga Day. So since 2015, this Yoga Day is performed, celebrated with different modes. One, there is a mass demonstration of yoga or mass performance of yoga, where very often our Prime Minister is going and attending. In this year also, 2022, in Mysuru it was there. So then there is a seminar organized by Minister Pais and other organizations also. But Minister Pais keeps a theme, this yoga for youth, yoga at home. During Corona period, it was there, yoga at home. You do, Prime Minister was advising, you do, in 3 generations. That means grandfather and mother should do, then father and mother, then the children. 3 generations, they should do yoga at home because Corona was there. This year, yoga for humanity. So, yoga is a priceless therapy, non-drug therapy, easily acceptable, but only thing with a mild caution. So if somebody does this, most of the disease can be prevented and we can have a healthy life. Our body can be detoxified and our mind can be stress-free. We can overcome the sufferings. We can prevent them. And if we are diseased, we can accept these yogic procedures along with the therapy what you are taking from your concerned doctors. So in all the way, in all the manner, yoga is beneficial. So since I am related to a medicine, I elaborated most of the medical benefit of yoga. And there are other spiritual benefit also. Who can practice, who can do it, they can do. But for a healthy society, for a disease-free society, for a suffering-free society, yoga is more advisable because now government is spending crores of rupees in health sector. They are opening big hospitals. They are treating. They are not giving us health. The definition of health, but World Health Organization has told. It is not merely absence of diseases. It is a physical, mental, and social and spiritual well-being, not merely absence of diseases. Where are those well-being? Where is health? We can have a facility of good hospital to cure the diseases, but where we can purchase health? We cannot purchase health. It is freely available by practicing yoga. So it is my suggestion, it is my advice. You do it your personal level. You motivate your family members. You motivate to your friends and relatives. But always keep in mind, do it with the instruction of a good teacher who is trained, who can give a good advice. And I think I have elaborated about the benefit of yoga as far as possible. And thank you to organizers, Ganesh Prasad sir and all others. If you have some questions, you can ask. Thank you to all.
Uh, Thank you, sir, for your beautiful elaboration. First of all, I congratulate because it is a kind of medical camp like thing. You very beautifully and very simply you elaborate all these things, and as you know that yoga is very popular nowadays, but we people are not actually not serious about all these things, and we always go for the only allopathy and all or gym and aerobic kind of thing. So first of all, I must thank you for your beautiful. You can your lecture is very simple and very informative. And on behalf of PG Department of Philosophy, I must thank you and thank you for your beautiful deliberation. Now I request all the participants, if you have any queries, then you can ask to the speaker. तो सर मो तरफ गोटे भी क्वेश्चन अच्छे जोटा आप कहले जे आम माने सबु प्रकार रोग को आम योग माध्यम रे कि आयुर्वेद माध्यम रे क्योर करि परिबा
हाँ नहीं सुनतु मु जा कहली सब प्रकार रोग मु कहनी most of the diseases prevalent in modern society most of the diseases which are most common, of the diseases commonly available because see for emergency and for some diseases allopathic is must. If you have a fracture or if you have a heart attack you must go to allopathic hospital. There is no remedy from yoga or ayurveda. It is only for common and chronic diseases or lifestyle related diseases which are in mild you know nowadays these are crippling our society. If somebody is affected from paralysis, then he is handicapped. His working days are lost. He is a burden to our society. His contribution becomes nil. And those can be prevented by yoga and Ayurveda.
Okay, sir.
Sir. Ayurveda गोटे कोन डिवीजन अछि तादर गोटे टाइप रो रोग होछि जाप्य आउ दिटा कोनटी
सर हमर क्लासिफिकेशन कराइ छि रोग को जे साध्य कष्ट साध्य जाप्य एवं असाध्य sadhya means which can be curable easily. Cost sadhya means which is curable after a difficult procedure or a long term medication. Then japya means so long as you take medicine like diabetes, high blood pressure, so long as you take medicine you are healthy. When you discontinue it then there is disease. Another is asadhya like cancer and last stage of kidney disease. All these are asadhya. So there is a classification, sir. So Ayurveda is yoga is better in chronic and common diseases, not in emergency. Sir.
Sir, Pakistan
आउ गोटे प्रश्न छोट प्रश्न सर
हां कोंदो
अजे एरा एक्चुअली पिलांकर प्रश्न होते
आज्ञा
जे हमें जदि माने एलोपैथी को जाउछु किबा मने करंतु ए जो जिम किबा एरोबिक किबा ए सब को जते बेले जाउछु हम इंस्टेंट रिजल्ट पाउछु
आज्ञा
तो हमें आज का डेट रे हमें सब बडे कोन करछु इंस्टेंट फूड इंस्टेंट हैप्पीनेस इंस्टेंट रिजल्ट ए प्रकार रे हम एक्चुअली वी आर वेरी एडिक्टेड लाइक दैट बट आयुर्वेद किबा योग को हमें एक्चुअली हमें तार रिजल्ट जोटा कि हमें रिजल्ट स्लो आसीबो किंतु परफेक्ट आसीबो से जिंस को हमें एक्चुअली सेते गुरुत्व देउना तो आपण एथि पे कोन कहिबे
नहीं सुनो तो सेटा आपण जोटा केले तार कारण होची हम सोसाइटी हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बिकॉज आपण जति चाहबे गुटे गुड आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर पाइबेनी गुटे गुड योग ट्रेनर पाइबेनी गुड आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन पाइबेनी देन व्हाट विल डू आपनकर बहुत जगह रे जेम देखंतु एलोपैथिक मेडिसिन लो सेंटर प्रति गली कंत्री खुली गलानी सेही भली सेही तुलना रे आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन लो सेंटर नाही आयुर्वेदिक हॉस्पिटल नाही आयुर्वेदिक डिस्पेंसरी नाही जोटा कि आपन को पॉपुलराइज करि पाउनी किंतु देखंतु एई जिनिस वर्तमान आपन कहूची जे इंडिया रे हेची कोन वर्तमान आपन गोटे एफएसएसआई संस्था अछि आपन जानथिबे फूड सेफ्टी एंड सिक्योरिटी अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया फूड स्टैंडर्ड सिक्योरिटी अथॉरिटी वर्तमान आपन हॉर्लिक्स बॉर्नविटा टाइप रो जति की प्रोडक्ट सब बिक्री होची तारि लाइसेंस रे नॉट फार्मेसी लाइसेंस इवन आपन टीवी रे जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट होची न्यूरोबियन फॉट से हमके से सब ओटीसी प्रोडक्ट भी से एफएसएसआई ब्रांड रे जो जिंको विट खाउचंती देखिबे सेतर एफएसएसआई लिखा आइछि से एफएसएसआई अंडर रे गुडाई ड्रग वर्तमान इंडिया रो एक्सपोर्ट होची बाहर को इन द नेम ऑफ सप्लीमेंट डाइटरी सप्लीमेंट हर्बाल सप्लीमेंट फूड सप्लीमेंट यही सप्लीमेंट हिसाब से अमेरिका जाऊँ कनाडा जाऊँ अमेरिका 70% रु अधिक लोक हर्बाल मेडिसिन नौकरी बट नॉट टेलिंग एज आयुर्वेद बिकज ताकर मेडिसिन एक्सेप्ट करने प्रति कंट्री गोटे ओन रेगुलेशन अच्छी जमी एफडीए अच्छी अमेरिकार फूड एंड ड्रग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आपड़ से मार्केटिंग करने आपको सब डाटा दबा पड़ो गोटे गचर बोटानिकल आइडेंटिटी कौटू आणिले जंगल आणले नेबेनी आपन को कल्टिवेट करथिबे सेम स्टैंडर्ड केमिकल सेथिरे थिबो ताकू पैक कला बेले तयारी कला बेले बैक्टीरियल कंटामिनेशन नथिबो स्टैंडर्ड थिबो सो मेनी थिंग्स तेनो ये गुडा तो एक्सपोर्ट ही चलची बहुत आ वर्तमान देखंतु बहुत एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर भी फूड सप्लीमेंट लेखुचंती जोंतर एलोपैथिक सहित आयुर्वेद मिसा अछि आपण माने जानु नांती काहे ना इंग्लिश ना दिया आइछि तेनो मोर और लेस समस्त खाउचंती आयुर्वेद बुझिले ना तेनो मेन होची कथा आमे इमरजेंसी पई फिट नो क्रॉनिक कॉमन डिजीजेस पई दीज आर मोर सुइटेबल
ना आपण जेमति कहले से जो एफडीए रो लाइसेंस दरकार बा ता अप्रूवल दरकार सेमति अप्रूवल पाइकी केतक अछि ना
नहीं सर आम इंडिया रे एटा रिलैक्स्ड एफएसएसआई ब्रांड रे आपण आयुर्वेदिक एलोपैथिक मिसा एपटे अर्जुन अछि हार्ट भाई सेपटे ताकर गुटे कोन कंपोजिशन अछि आ तापरे आठगंठी पई रोजी फ्लेक्स मिलुची सेथिरे डाइसरिन अछि एलोपैथिक रो सल्लो की बसिलिया सेराटा गछर एक्सट्रैक्ट अछि आयुर्वेद रो तेनु सेही ना रे बहुत लोग खाउतते एलोपैथिक स्पेशलिस्ट माने भी लेखुचंती किंतु लोक जानु नांती जे दिस इज आयुर्वेदिक तेनु सब मोर और लेस चलची किंतु ओनली आयुर्वेद एठी पॉपुलर हेई पारिनी बहुत
ताछड़ा लोकों ताछड़ा जोटी भी सुविधा अछि उभय रो से लोकों करी धैर्यर अभाव एते टिके समय लागिवो एटा सिंपल
सर मो काई कहली कि मो काकू ब्लेम करूनी हमर सीएससी पीएससी आ राष्ट्रीय बाल समिति रे बहुत आयुर्वेदिक होमियोपैथिक डॉक्टर पोस्टेड अछंती डॉक्टर पोस्टिंग पाउछंती वर्ष पर्यंत मेडिसिन जाउनी तेणु से बाध्य कि से एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर छुट्टी गले तांकर लिख दउछंती मेडिसिन एलोपैथिक मेडिसिन नले तांका संगे बस टिके लिख दउछंती या होची कथा प्रॉब्लम ता व्हेन यू आर गिविंग पोस्टिंग इन कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर प्राइवेट हेल्थ सेंटर राष्ट्रीय बाल समिति नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन in all these are plenty of ayurvedic and ICU doctors are posted but no medicine is available then what they will do yeah hochi problem sir ha सेगुडा के कोऑर्डिनेशन नाही सेगुडा नाही किंतु सेंट्रल लेवल ले सर बहुत अछि मु तो सर थिली दिल्ली रे वी हैड 30 सेंटर्स थ्रू आउट इंडिया एंड हमर प्लेंटी ऑफ मेडिसिन प्लेंटी ऑफ फैसिलिटी पंचघर सब थिला सर
सर सर धन्यवाद सर सर ए उपलक्ष्य रे सर मु गोटे कथा कहया चाहे जे सर हमरो कॉलेज रे थरे सडन गोटे चलीथिला हेल्थ चेकअप सेंटर एवं मु जाई हठात चेकअप कला परे देखिली मोर डायबिटीज सडन 260 मु आश्चर्य काइना प्राय सकाळे मॉर्निंग वॉक करे किंतु सडनली हमरा से जने भणजा अछंती आयुर्वेद रो डॉक्टर ए जयपुर रे तांको सहित कांटेक्ट करथिली से मते एडवाइस दिले बोले ना ना सिमती टेस्ट करनी तुमे ब्लड नै टेस्ट करो ना जदी डायबिटीज अछि ताले मॉर्निंग वॉक को कंटिन्यू करो आ तुमे मेथी खाओ एवं मेथी गुंड करी मु दिबळा दिन को खाइली एवं मास परे मु चेक करली मोर जहा कंटिन्यू जहा मॉर्निंग वॉक करूथिली देखली बाय गॉड्स ब्लेसिंग माने इट डिक्रीजेस 140
हां नहीं नहीं से कथा मु कहली परा एई जते कि क्रॉनिक आ कॉमन डिजीज कैन बी वेल कंट्रोल्ड बाय किंतु सुनंतु एई थरे अछि कोन कहले आपण हले टाइप 2 डायबिटीज माने आपनकर जो पैनक्रियाज रो जो बीटा सेल अछि जोटा कि सिक्रेट करे इंसुलिन दैट इज पार्शियली डैमेज्ड सेटा जतले ग्रोसली डैमेज हे जिवो सेतले आपण इंसुलिन न नबार बाट नै तेनु जेहेतु आपनकर डैमेजटा लेस देन 50% थिला आपण ओनली मेथड भी कंट्रोल करतले आ से क्षेत्र रे आपण जदी जोग ऐड करिवे यू विल गेट मोर बेनिफिट अलोंग विथ मेथड
थैंक यू सर
हां नल सर आपण जदी गुटे एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर पाखु जाई थाते 240 रो रिपोर्ट नै की ही वुड बी प्रेस्क्राइबिंग यू 4 to 5 मेडिसिन्स हां गुटे कोलेस्ट्रॉल लोअरिंग मेडिसिन गुटे हार्ट पे प्रिवेंटिव एस्पिरिन देन फॉर डायबिटीज भोगलिबस मेटफॉर्मिन सिडालग्लिप्टिन 4-5 कॉम्बिनेशंस एंड आपण ताऊ छाडी पान न थाते
सर जे मेथड कोन डेली कंटिन्यू करले किछ असुविधा अछि की
किछ असुविधा नै बट इट हैज अ डोज आपण नेबे होची 3 ग्राम to 5 ग्राम थरके
सर गोटे चम्मच गोटे गुंड चम्मच त नउची
गोटे चम्मच हां बस 3 ग्राम to 4 ग्राम ट्वाइस डेली आ अधिका नेबे नि जेमिति कोरोना रे हला गण ना लोक गुडुची गिलोय खाइले इम्यूनिटी बढ़ियो बोली जा बाडी रे गिलोय थला ताको आनी की छेची की ने 500 थर के छेची की गोटे करैया पानले अध करैया को स्वामी स्त्री दी जण पीले किछि दिन पीला पर एसिडिटी बाहरला बुझिले ना तेणु सबथिरे गोटे डोज अछि तेणु चूर्ण मान तार हला 3 to 5 ग्राम ट्वाइस डेली
सर सर
हाँ
थैंक यू सर
जूस नेले 20 to 40 ml
सर सर ठीक
एलोवेरा जूस नियंतु एलोवेरा सेरकम लोक शरबत करके हेल्दी ड्रिंक करके फ्रूट रे फल रे ब्लेंड करके सेव सहित का सहित पिउचंती बट दैट शुड बी
सर
एलोवेरा रो पल्प दैट शुड बी 20 ग्राम मैक्सिमम गोटे थर रे आपण जदी 4-5 टा पत्र को काट के ग्लास रे गुळे के एकाथरे पीबे दैट इज हार्मफुल बुझले ना एक कथा हां मानवा कथा और कोन
समत्तम जोगमुच्य
सर
यस सर
सर बहुत धन्यवाद सर हमर पिला माने भी बहुत माने आज किछि आपनक ठारू बहुत कि शिखिचंती जे आयुर्वेद रो इंपोर्टेंस काइना आज पर्यंत प्राय आज पर्यंत न तो 7-8 वर्ष ला जहा किछि समस्या देखा जाउ मु आयुर्वेद रो मेडिसिन यूज करूची काइना सहज रे हमर गोटे भणजाडा जेहेतु से डॉक्टर अछंती ताको पचारि गिरी मु प्राय करे तेणु विभाग तरफ आपन बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद वर्तमान हमर अध्यापक फ्रांसिस बाला को निमंत्रण करबी से आज धन्यवाद अर्पण करेंगे
We have reached the last stage for our today's national seminar. सर गणेश सर गोटे प्रश्न रही जाउछि मु पचारि पारिबि कि
ना पचारि धन्यवाद दे नाही ना ते पचारि
मन भितर सेटा उल्टी मार जोटा सेटा मु पचारि जाई पारु पचारि सर
रिप्रेशन इज डेंजरस
ना मु पचारि पचारि
को
सर पचारि तो पचारि परे आपन पचारि सेटा
परे पचारि
ना पचारि देबे सर आपनकर जो लेक्चर बहुत सुंदर भाव रे मु एक्चुअली बहुत इंप्रेस हली जो विषाद और आनंद ऊपर जोटा कहिले
हां
आपनकर लेक्चर आउ गोटे जिनिस कहिले जोटा कि जो भोग और त्याग विषय रे जे हमें माने दुईटा जिनिस को केमती सांगरे नहीं परिबा हमें जते बेले कहू जे हमें त्याग कले ही हमें एक्चुअली आनंद पाइबा किंतु ए जगह अपन जते बेले कहिले जे देता मु एक्चुअली सेटा
ईसावासी कोन लिखा पढाउ छरेटा
नहीं किंतु ए जोगो माध्यम रे मु तो से
हम ईसावासी उपनिषद कोन कहै छी
किंतु एटा प्रैक्टिकल ये रे हम केमती उपयोग करबा मो
प्रैक्टिकल वे केमती करिया ताले परहैप्स आई हैव टू गो टू यू टू लिव टुगेदर और यू हैव कम टू मी टू लिव टुगेदर ताले ना इंस्टेंसेस पाइबा कोड कोन करे जे कोन हो
सर बालाजी भरी आपन पाखो
जुआड गोटे लाबो आ मु जयपुर की न से फोन करछु आ तो लागू चल
ओके सर so firstly I would like to thank our principal who has attended the first session tomorrow today
सुन गोटे कथा सुन बहुत दिन तळे बोले 3 वर्ष 4 वर्ष हेलानी गोटे बाहर थिला खबर काज छोटिया न्यूज रे गोटे आलू चॉप पई गोटे बापा गोटे पुओ को चटकणा पके की अचेत कर देला से मरि गला से दीटा आलू चॉप आनी थिला भात रे खाइबो बोली कि पुओ से तू गोटे खाइ देला
केंद्रापड़ा रे
बुझिल ना
अच्छा
कथा जाउची से यदि दीटा आनी थिला आलू चॉप पुओ को आगे गोटे देई थाता तापर गोटे खाइ थाता नहले पुओ यदि द्वितीयटा खाइबो चाहि थाता ताकू देई दी थाता भी सेटा होची त्यागरे भोग बुझिल कि हो चल आगु चल
तो सर बहुत धन्यवाद हमें अपन से एही सेशन पाई विशेष करी हमर मदन मोहन पाठी सर को और गणेश प्रसाद दास सर को विशेष धन्यवाद देवी हम विभाग पक्षर से जो निहात जो वक्तव्य अच्छे निहाती आम माने लाभदायक हम आगामी दिन में आउ आम सदस्य विभाग तरफ दर्शन विभाग विक्रम देव कॉलेज जयपुर तरफ आपको अशेष धन्यवाद करुच्ची
ता सहित मु हमर समस्त जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स अछंती आमे ऑनलाइन रे भी अछंती कि हमर जो फिजिकल मोड रे भी जो माने योगदान देछंती ताके अशेष धन्यवाद दउ। आज এই যে সুন্দর ভাবে যে আয়োজন কলে আমি সমস্ত সহযোগ আছে পিলাঙ্কর আছে আমার স্টার মানকর আছে সমস্ত যে মানে ডাইরেক্টলি ইনডাইরেক্টলি সহিত জড়িত অଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଅର୍ପଣ କରୁଛି। ପରିଶେଷରେ ମୁଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ନମସ୍କାର ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଜଣାଉଛି। ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଆଉ ନମସ୍କାର।
ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ନମସ୍କାର ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ନମସ୍କାର।
ଆଉ ଆର୍ଥିକ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ ଦେଇଥିବା ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ କାଉନସିଲ ଅଫ ଫିଲୋସଫିକାଲ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। We express our gratitude to all the speakers, to the ICPR member secretary, chairman, previous chairman, and the previous member secretary, to sanction this amount to conduct a national webinar for the celebration of International Day of Yoga. So we are highly gratitude to all of you, particularly to Professor Ganesh Prasad Das, my guide, my teacher, who is the backbone of our department. By his helping, we got the Dr. Madan Mohan Padi sir. Otherwise, it is not possible for us to contact to you, sir. So I express I hearty gratitude to you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar, समस्त को. Now the meeting is over.